Yeah, not everybody's the same, Kevin, right? I'm a firm believer of anybody can accomplish anything they want to accomplish. It's a mindset. You say you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
All right, guys. So we're here at the new episode of KR27 Group Podcast, KR27 Entrepreneur Experience with Mr. George Perez. George, how you doing today?
Marvelous. Doing great. Thank you, Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
I am doing great, man, because I am talking to the guy who got me started doing what I do now. And George doesn't like to take credit for anything.
What do you do now, man?
You know, I get to talk to a lot of great people in this podcast. We have the marketing agency going that's doing pretty well. We're killing it for business owners, business to consumer and business to business. And then obviously we are also doing the life insurance and investments for clients, which is awesome because we save clients money on taxes on their investments, and then they do marketing with us, and then they get to write that off too. So it's all a plus. I know that you're one of our clients, so we appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
I'm here to talk to you, and a lot of people don't know, and George doesn't like to take credit for this, but George was one of the first people who really believed in me and pushed me. And he basically told me, stop being a baby and go buy a house.
I think I use other words.
This is an explicit podcast, so you can use the words if you like. I have no problem with it. But he basically told me to, don't be a baby and go buy a house. But yeah, George, so tell people a little bit of how'd you get started into business and stuff, and kind of where you got to, where you're at.
Yeah, so thanks again, Kevin, for having me on. And you guys I know you've been trying to do these podcasts for a while, and I'm excited for you that you're doing these. And I hate hearing my voice, so I apologize for everybody else that has to hear it right now. but with that, how I got started, it all goes back to when I bought my first house. I bought my first house when I was 21 years old. I started looking for that house when I was 20, actually. My dad had just purchased his house maybe 2 years prior to that. And the person he was working with, I was talking to her, and she was like, why don't you buy a house? And being 20 years old, I'm like, I can buy a house? And she's like, yeah, you should buy a house. So we started looking, started going to places. She introduced me to a realtor. They were incredibly patient because I started looking, I believe, in January of 2008. Yeah, January of 2008. And I didn't close escrow and actually find a house until December of 2008. So as you guys all, those of you that can remember, 2008 was a crazy year when it came to the foreclosure issues, the short sales, a lot of things that were going on. And yeah, they were overly patient. So it was different situations. Right now, people wait a year to buy a house because there's no inventory, right? And back then there was no inventory, but it was for a different reason. I still remember I think I shared this story with you, Kevin. When I bought that house, I remember using every penny that I had I remember selling my brother on the dream of renting a room out for me. And then the salesman that I am, I also convinced him to find somebody to rent out a room. So he found a friend, and they were both renting out rooms, which was great. It helped tremendously. But I still remember, before I even made my first mortgage payment, I remember going to the mall, walking into a Foot Locker, and buying a pair of shoes, knowing that I wasn't going to be able to have any extra income really, because all of it was going straight to the mortgage pretty much at that point. I remember buying those pair of shoes. I'm like, man, this is going to be the last pair of shoes I buy in a while until I either get a raise, get promoted, or do something. So yeah, that's the first house in 2008. And then I bought my second place right before I turned 25. Then I bought my third when I was 25 as well. And then from there, I've had multiple properties, bought, sold.
Yeah, you bought
it too many times.
yeah, you bought and sold a few times. I know that.
Too many times, yeah.
I remember once George he'd always give me stuff because I live in a small town in the middle of nowhere. And then he bought a house in a small town in the middle of nowhere. And I drove out there and I was like, this town is like a quarter of where I live. And you give me stuff all the time.
It was Cloverdale.
But you made pretty good profit on that place, right? When you sold it.
It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. I bought it in the middle of nowhere. Bought it in 2016. Sold it last year in 2020. I lived there. My intention was to live there. So I bought it as an investment property, obviously, but I was living in the investment property. I wasn't planning on keeping it. I knew it was going to flood. But yeah, it ended up being well. It ended up turning out okay for it being in the middle of nowhere. For the fact that when I bought it, it was on the market for a long time. It was on the market for almost, 6 months. Then I come in here, some random guy that doesn't know anything about Cloverdale, buys a house in Cloverdale. And then I ended up selling it, and it sold that. I listed it on a Wednesday, and I was in escrow by Friday. last year, which was crazy, right?
It's real estate nowadays right now, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but 4 years, right? 4 years. 4 years difference. And the difference is the 35 minutes outside of Santa Rosa. When I was looking in Santa Rosa, I was getting outbid and outbought, right? All the time. And then 35 minutes north, things change. And then now guess what? Now there's the same issues there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know one of the things when I first met you, I'll tell people a little bit of the story of what happened. I walked into George's office. And he was telling me about all these houses. He wasn't bragging or anything. He was just talking about it. And I was like, George, we'll play out this scenario again. I was like, George, man, that's so cool, man. I wish I could buy a house. What did you say, George?
So then go buy a house. That's what I said. I said, buy a house.
It's not that easy, George. You can't just go buy a house.
You just go buy a house.
That's basically what he said. And I was like, no, dude, it's not that hard. But it stuck in my head, right? And I just remember going, I was like, when the hell you buy a house? And I just started looking at houses. This is before you had to get a pre-approval, right? Things were a little bit different. This is like 2014, so you didn't even need
But you did pre-approvals, but you didn't do the, what's it called? Now they do, it's not called pre-approval anymore. It's like where they actually run it through underwriting. And they give you
they want to get a full underwriting approval because the way the market is right now is just better. But at the time, I didn't even have a pre-approval when I went to go look at houses. I remember because in the realtors, there was so much inventory now back then, and there was so much real estate. People were still not buying as much because
that was 2014, Kevin.
Yeah, so it was a big difference from where things are at now. That was 7 years ago. So it's funny because then George taught me the ways. Oh, well, man, you really just go buy a house. You really just go do things.
Then you go buy another one.
Basically, yeah. So it's funny. No, it's funny how that works out. And a lot of people don't know, but while you were buying these houses, you were working full-time at a time, then you were going to school full-time, right? Because a lot of people try to say, oh, I can't do this because of that. What would you say to that? Because I know that for you, I would love for you to tell people your story about how you basically had a little triangle going on with your commutes and also had a house at the same time and were paying bills.
Yeah, not everybody's the same, Kevin, right? I'm a firm believer of anybody can accomplish anything they want to accomplish. It's a mindset. You say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And I'll share that as simply as Maribel, right? She got me running. You guys used to joke about me never running. And she got me going from never running to doing 3 miles, 5 miles, 8 miles, to doing a half marathon at 13 miles. And she got me to do it by doing little increments. And she just kept saying, it's a mental thing. As long as you believe you can do it, you can do it. And it's crazy though, because that's anything in life. If you tell your mind is so much stronger than anything you think you can possibly accomplish. You literally have to focus on it. I worked full time. I went to school full time, and I did it because I want to challenge myself. I wanted to be able to do that, and I managed my time to do. And it was an experience. I look back at it, and there's times that I laugh, and I'm like, God, thanks for looking out, because there was some dumb things, falling asleep driving. It was crazy. And eventually, I bought the house. And when I bought the house, it was in Tracy. So I was living in Tracy, driving to Antioch to go to work. And then I was driving to San Jose after work for classes. And then I would drive from San Jose to the gym in Livermore. And then I'd go from the gym to back home. And yes, it's Kevin, you've known me for a long time. I've been addicted to the gym since I was 18 years old. This last fact that COVID happened. Well, COVID's happening right now. Pandemic's still active. But the hardest thing that I missed was not missing. So I had to find other ways to stay active. And now you've seen my garage, but again, think about that. I had time to work full time, go to school full time, and go to the gym 6 days out of the week.
Yeah. No, that's why I wanted you to share kind of some of that too, because it's just showing people that you really you do what you want to do. That mindset, like you said.
I was in a relationship, Kevin. That's even crazier. I was in a relationship, working full time, going to school full time, and went to the gym 6 days out of the week.
Yeah, and your commute to almost every single city was almost an hour, right?
More than that. No, it depends. So if you go from Tracy to Antioch, 40 minutes? It's a 40-minute drive. And then Antioch to San Jose, that's what, an hour? If you're lucky, with no traffic. And then going from San Jose in the evening to Tracy was a 2-hour drive. Sometimes it's a little faster, but I was going to Livermore, so I was using that to do it as a stop instead of hitting all that crazy traffic. But it still took me about an hour to go from San Jose to Livermore.
Yeah. So you just go almost a 3-hour commute every day, right?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you gotta make it fun. You gotta look at the positive things.
Well, no, one thing I'll tell people about George is George loves to drive.
I hate it.
That guy loves to drive. How many times you going to Mexico this month, George? I forgot.
This month, we're still in April, so I'm not going today.
Sorry, May. Sorry. How many times are you going in May?
I was gonna end up going 3 times. It looks like I'll probably only be going twice. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be 4 times. Okay.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think it was gonna be pretty crazy. I was gonna pretty much be there every weekend, but no, it won't be that bad.
That's funny. What's your plans now, like with investing in property? I know, how many houses do you have right now? 2 or 3?
I only have 3. No, I only have 3 right now. I only have 3. I got rid of 1 earlier this year.
Okay, yeah, you just got rid of 1. And then what's your plans now? Are you trying to buy more houses? Are you thinking about, what's your goals with the real estate?
Yeah, goal is always to invest, right? If I look at just the real estate market in general, everybody's going to give you different advice. You'll talk to one realtor and they'll say, don't buy, wait. And you talk to another realtor and they say, buy. Everybody's going to give you different advice, right? And again, advice is an opinion. That's all they're giving you. So all I can give you is an opinion of what I want to do or what my thought process is. And my thought process is, look at the amount of people keep making more people. Right. And you look at the amount of homes that are being built, they're not catching up. Like there's not enough homes being built for the amount of people that need homes. So properties are always going to continue to go up. Not always. They're going to continue to go up for the foreseeable future, to use proper terms there. So yeah, I do plan on buying. It's just a matter of, again, it's location, right? You got to find the right spot, find a good price. And oftentimes you're not always going to find all those needs, but as long as you can check most of the boxes, jump on it. So I wouldn't say, well, ideally, I would love to be able to get a place at the end of this year based on some other investment moves that I'm making. It probably won't happen until next year, but yeah, things can change rapidly. So I might end up going crazy and buying something again before the year ends.
Yeah, no, because I know that's one thing with people, they get that fear of, like, they get this thing where a lot of people tell them like, oh, just wait till it goes down. I've been hearing this for like 4 or 5 years now, right?
You mean 8 years?
Remember when I bought,
at least
like,
8 years.
Yeah, like when I bought this house that I'm in right now, like 2 years ago, they're like, oh, why are you buying it? Wait till it goes down. Now the house is worth $150,000 more. So it's
gonna go down, Kevin, but it's gonna go down.
So it's fun. One thing I learned from you is, as long as it's rented and people are paying the mortgage, or if they don't pay the mortgage and you have the money and you can cover it, then you're fine. It really is. Like, it's just about putting yourself in the right situation. And I think a lot of people are always waiting for that 2008. And why and I know this is just George's opinion, but what would you say to people like that? People who are just, oh, well, I'm just waiting for it to crash. I'm just waiting for it to fall to where it used to be.
I would say that good. That's okay. Go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with waiting, because there's going to be somebody else that doesn't wait and goes and buys. And then you're going to look back and say, why'd you miss it on the opportunity? If you look at anything in life, we always regret things that we don't do. We don't regret things that we do. We always learn from things that we do. Whether it was right or wrong, we learn from them. But we always regret things that we don't do. So for people that choose to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the beauty of being able to think for yourself, make your own decisions, make your own reality, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Do that. But if you're asking me what I would do, I wouldn't do that. I would do everything you can to buy a place. It's an investment. Yeah. But again, it's up to you, right? And oftentimes people look at it as, well, I'm investing in other things. Like, well, I'm investing in a business, or I'm investing in a stock portfolio. I'm investing in, what's it called? Not Bitcoin, but what do they call it now? Cryptocurrency, right? They're investing in cryptocurrency or other investments. And that's great. But I believe in having a diverse portfolio. I believe that you should be able to have your things in as diversified as possible, because you never know. There's a real estate portfolio, right? If you buy all the houses in one city, you're not diverse at all. But if you're buying them in different cities, you have a diverse real estate. You buy cryptocurrency, where you put all your money in Bitcoin, that's not pretty diverse. But if you buy different ones, that's a diverse portfolio, right? Yeah. Same thing when you look at investments. And I know you help a lot of people with that too, Kevin. If you put all your money in, that might be pretty safe, but it's still risky. Yeah. It's how are you minimizing the amount of risk? So what I would say is, if you're the individual saying, oh, I'm investing in this right now, that's great. But when's your time frame to invest in something else? When's your time frame to diversify that portfolio? Because when that pandemic hit, you think people were banking on that? No. But the people that had a backup plan, they came out of it stronger and better than ever.
Yeah.
When you plan for the unexpected, that's what I'm referring to. Somebody's going to say, why do you plan for a pandemic? I don't know. And not that everybody sounds like that, so I apologize for using that voice. But you don't plan for a pandemic. But what you do plan, you plan for the uncertainty. It's like, how are you prepared to take advantage of an opportunity that does arise? And how did you come out of that better?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're completely right about that. I know that's something that, like myself right now, the whole pandemic was going on. I refound my house, took out some cash, and now I know I'm trying to buy a fourplex. And some people have told me, like, why are you doing that? And you and another buddy of mine who's also in real estate, who I plan on interviewing eventually, told me, he was like, dude, do it. So usually, and it's like you said, everybody makes their own choices. Everybody, makes their decisions. We're not here to tell anybody how to do things. You got your own brain for a reason. But one thing I know I've seen so far from just learning from you and from a few other people as I've gone on to come in my life in the last 7 years since I met you, it's been kind of like a go-go mentality for me. I'm very high risk. And I tell this to people, like, you don't have to be like me, because I take a lot of high risk. I take a lot of risk. I like to take risks. I'm also pretty young, so if something happens, worst case scenario, I'll be fine. But yeah, you're talking about the investments, the portfolio, and diversifying things. And the problem is sometimes people want to buy something, whether it be real estate or investments, and they want to see it shoot up. Like we saw GameStop not long ago, and they want to make that fast money, and then they want to get out fast. And it's sometimes people forget, and there's a quote that Warren Buffett has talked about. I know you're a fan of Warren Buffett. He talks
He's
about,
all right. He
talks about, everybody always wanted to get rich so fast, and they don't want to ever just learn that you can get rich slow.
It's patience. It's patience. Yeah. What is it? Fortune follows those that are patient, right? And fortune doesn't always have to be money. It can be anything. And people always say, oh, being patient is a virtue. I'm working on being patient. It's a state of mind. It's a state of mind. If you put yourself in a mindset that you're going to be patient, guess what? You're patient.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. It's a conscious decision that you make. It's a conscious decision that we choose to make or not to make. So I love that. Warren Buffett has said that many times, and he hits it right in the head. And you look at his wealth and how he built it. I don't think he made his first million when he was 30. I think that's what it is. 30, right?
Something like that, yeah. And
it's weird. Yeah, it's interesting to look at.
He also started. He was a very smart young kid. He started saving his money before he was even 18. He was very
There's
smart.
a lot of smart people, though, Kevin. There's a lot of smart people in this world. There's probably people that are smarter than Warren Buffett that don't have the wealth that he has. But the difference is that patience. Just because you're intelligent doesn't mean you're patient. And if you have intelligence without the patience, you don't have control over your mind. If you don't have control over your mind, then what's your emotional intelligence look like? Where are you putting yourself in life?
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to be learning to be patient, but also taking action at the same time. Because if you're not, you can be patient, like a lot of people, right? Oh, I'm being patient for it to crash. No, you have to be patient, but still.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Do that. That's okay. But then when you look around and people being patient in different ways, you can't be mad or upset because you made the wrong decision of patience. Mm-hmm. Or your interpretation of patience maybe wasn't the appropriate one at that time.
Yeah. And because that's one thing. People always want to, me being in the investment industry, I get that a lot. I get people have a very low risk tolerance, but they want to get rich fast. Those two things don't really go well together. And it's the same way with homes, right? With buying houses and real estate, you have to understand there's a risk to it.
Kevin, it's like when somebody graduates out of college and they have $20,000 in debt, $20,000 in debt, they get that good job or great job or dream job, and they go buy a land because it's the image that they want to portray. It's like, look, I graduated college. Look, I'm doing well. Here's a status symbol. And no comment on what they could have done with that.
Yeah. Maybe buy some Tesla stock. I know a guy who bought some Tesla stock 3 years ago. He's doing pretty well.
I don't know about that guy. I don't know anybody.
I will say, see, that guy made a mistake, and he owns up to his mistakes. He could have bought Tesla 3 years ago, or he could have bought Bitcoin 3 years ago when it was $3,500, and he listened to the wrong person and bought some Tesla instead.
Wasn't a bad investment. Diversify and bought both.
That's what would have been smart. You could have bought.
That's about right. We just talked about diversifying the portfolio, and that's a great example, though, Kevin. Right? What if? The what ifs are beautiful, right? Now remember we just talked about what you regret. You regret things you do or things you don't do. Mm-hmm. Do you just regret buying Tesla, or do you just regret not buying the Bitcoin?
I don't have any regrets. I just wish I would have. I wish I would have done things better.
Say it.
I wish I would have bought half and half. I had $15,000. Bitcoin was $3,500. I wish I would buy about 2 Bitcoins.
Do you wish you could go back in time, Kevin? Or do you wish you would have made a different decision?
Right now, my investment, the way my portfolio is working, let me answer the question. The way my portfolio is working is I'm trying to invest into a time machine that will take me back so I can change the decision I made.
Who needs Mars? Who needs to go to Mars? Nobody. We just need a time machine.
One thing I've noticed is Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are trying to change the world, and that's what I'm trying to do. So that looks like that's what makes you rich. So I'm gonna start a company to work on a time machine so that I can go back and invest on some Bitcoin.
KR27 time travel. Let's go.
That's the next thing. But yeah, I know you have you talk about diversifying your portfolio and stuff. I know you got your hands full in a couple different things, a couple different stuff. Do you mind telling us a little bit of everything you're doing right now and how you're able to do it and your routine? Because I know that you're one of those few people that I know that wakes up early, works out, has, I wouldn't say 9 to 5, but you have a job that you take care of a team, and then you also have your investments and you also have other things you try to do. And you always multiple stuff.
Yeah. The key, I'll answer your question, right? I'll answer your question, Kevin. Things that I'm involved with, obviously real estate is something I believe in firmly, and people always misinterpret that as, what do you mean by real estate? What I mean is buying and owning my properties. That's what I mean. Not necessarily going out there being a realtor. That's being diverse, right? Whether it's all in-house, whatever. We can go into detail at another time for that. Rentals, right? Rentals are a difference between owning property and actually having another source of income, which is rental income. What else? Those of you that don't know, I'm a rancher, so I own cattle as well. It's another investment that I believe in. I'm also working on building as Kevin, I told you this 2 years ago, building a winery, right? So I've been working on that. Oh, we really rephrase that. Not a winery. It's a vineyard. Okay, that's what I'm working on. So that's been coming to fruition pretty rapidly the last 2 years, which is exciting. God, what else? And then my main, I'd say my larger source of income, right? My main but larger source is what I do every day, working for Heartland. Being able to work with businesses directly is beautiful. I get to do that every single. I'm blessed to say this is what I do every day. I do that with my team. We cover part of Northern California, which is pretty fun. What else do we do? I don't know. And that's it. Am I missing anything? What am I missing, Kevin?
The 2 kids, maybe?
Oh, the family. Yeah. Of course. Got 2 kids. I got my partner Maribel, which is pretty awesome. What else? Travel to Mexico pretty often.
If you guys follow me on Instagram, just so you guys know, that actually is not my son. It's George's son, who I always...
Yeah, he borrows him sometimes. He borrows him for his good looks.
I borrow him for the good looks because it reminds me that I don't want to have a boy because he's crazy.
He is awesome. He's a blessing. Thank God. He's a blessing. What else? I wake up in the morning, I go for a minimum of 3-mile run, and then I jump on Maribel's stationary bike and I do 7 miles on that. And then I work out a minimum of 6 days a week. So I stay pretty busy.
Yeah. No, I know.
No, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I keep myself occupied, but I have free time. It's weird. I don't know how. I don't know. Remember when we just talked about this yesterday? Well, I have free time. Oh, I have this free time. I don't know how to do it.
I think it's just one thing. You had a conversation about this, right? Because multiple people have told me this in the past. They're like, how do you can't run the agency and you can't also do the investment stuff. I know when I started New York Life, that's what they told me. They're like, you can't have this. Like, it's just gonna take your time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, do it, I can do it. And when I started the agency, there was the same thing. They're like, dude, you should just focus on the agency. But it's just a thing that I think a lot of people don't understand, and I know you understand this, and it's time management. Time management. I know you spoke to me about this. It's just how you manage your time, how you're doing things. And I know one thing with me and you is we have free time, but for the most part, like, we wake up early and we work on the weekends if we have to.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like
it's work-life harmony. It's work-life harmony. I got to give credit to Rami. You know Rami, man.
Yeah, I know Rami.
Rami was listening to a podcast with Jeff Bezos, or not a podcast, some conversation he was having, a presentation or something. And everybody talks about this work-life balance. Well, balance means that you're like this. Balance means that it's even, right? So balance would mean that if you work 8 hours, it means you have 8 hours free, or you should work 12 hours and you have 12 hours free. That's balance. Mm-hmm. But harmony is being able to do what you like and enjoy it and move it whichever way you need to, so it makes sense in your life. And when you think of life as just harmony, it's time management.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's Saturday or Sunday. It doesn't matter whether it's 10 p.m. or 5 a.m. what makes sense for you is what creates the harmony.
Yeah, no, and I like that because I know, like with me, like if people tell me like, oh, at least you got the weekend coming up, I'm like, it's just another day for me. It makes a difference for me. The way I work things is, I gotta think that for me, the only time, I guess my free time is more like when I'm with Kaden, and George knows Kaden. She's always like, Daddy.
I was gonna say, I don't know about free time, man. I think that's your main boss.
Yeah, actually, the business is named after her, so yeah. I just work here. That's why I like going to New York Live, because I think Thomas is nicer to me than Kaden.
Yeah, probably.
Thomas is a lot nicer than me.
He at least says thank you. Nice job. Kaden doesn't say nice job, Daddy.
Nope. Can't just be like, Daddy, I want to buy this. Daddy, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but no, man, I definitely agree with you. I think that's one thing that I think some people, I've told people this before, like I didn't realize this until now, but sometimes you have it better when you have a 9-to-5, because some people are not, and this is not a disrespectful thing, it's just they're just not meant for this kind of lifestyle, because it takes a lot out of you, mostly emotionally, right? Like you see a client that's gonna close and then it doesn't close, or like you're closing a lot of clients and everything's going great, and then one day it just stop. Then you gotta handle team members. You have team members you gotta take care of. You have a team of what, 10, 12 people?
11 right now.
11 people,
yeah.
and that's with people that you've already lost before. Like you've had some people you hire, you lost, right? They left. Yeah, they didn't work out.
Yeah, it's like anything in the business where you're growing, you're shrinking, you're expanding.
Yeah, that's the thing, is a lot of people don't understand that sometimes taking this route doesn't always work out, because it's a lot more of a mental game than it is when you go to a 9-to-5 and you just have to go work. And as long as you find the right 9-to-5, I think you can be happy as well. I don't think that there's anything wrong with you working a regular job if you're happy. That's what I think. I don't know. You probably feel the same way.
Yeah, no, it's do what makes you happy. It doesn't matter what you do. And even Kevin, I'd go as far to say, not even calling it a regular job, is just doing what you enjoy. And oftentimes we look at it the 9-to-6, or we use that cliche, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Whatever you enjoy doing is what you should be doing. And that's it. It doesn't matter what it is. It does not matter.
Yeah. So, I mean,
if you're not waking up in the morning excited to do it, you probably need to find something else to do, or you need to look within and see what's creating that unhappiness, because it might not be what you're waking up to do.
Yeah.
It might be something else.
And I think one thing that me and you can agree upon with stuff is, we're not telling people how to live their lives, but definitely working out. Working out, I think, makes a huge difference on your output or how you feel. And no one's saying go work out and get healthy and be super in shape. George gets on me all the time about being fat right now, but that doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that you have to go get super in shape. But I think that, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that just being able to just go to the gym or work out at home, or even just go walk around the park once a day, I think that helps your mindset. Like, how do you think? What do you feel about that?
I 100% agree. I wouldn't say work out. I'd say be active. Find something that gets you moving. Whether it's you're walking, whether you're on a stationary bike, whether you're hiking, because I know you're a big believer of hiking, Kevin, whatever it is that gets you moving in any way, I'd say do it. Right? Yeah. Whether it's you watering your plants. Oh, I have a garden too, Kevin. Did I tell you that? That's my other thing that I do. Have a little garden. I have my chickens too. My 4 chickens. Got to take care of. But whatever gets you excited and gets you going is what I would say.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. I think that's something I definitely agree with you. I think that one thing that people don't really think about sometimes is just, when it comes to working out or being active, like you said, it's just about getting some sun, man. For me, like, even now that I work from home, I've been working from home for almost 2 years now. And I used to say, oh man, I hate being in the office, like this and that, blah, blah. I want to be able to just work for myself. And I did it, and I love it. But I have realized, mostly the last probably 6 months, and this has nothing to do with COVID, because I've already been doing this for 2 years. People are like, oh my God, we're from home now, like it's different. And I've been doing this longer than COVID came. But now I've noticed, I'm like, sometimes I have to leave my house and go work like at a coffee shop or something, because I just need some sun. I just need to get some air. And I know this is something people have said before, like doctors and stuff, right? The sun helps you. Like it gets your mood better.
Some vitamin D.
Yeah. And it does help out a lot. So I know that's why I think for you that you're able to do so many things and you're constantly moving, you're always on the go. I think that's probably why, right? It's just because you're always active, you're always going. probably why your son.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe why my son's so hyper. Is that what you're gonna say?
Probably why your son doesn't stop moving either. You know. Probably why. Well, I know you gotta get back to work. I appreciate your time. Just want to get some last thoughts on you with everything we talked about, from the real estate to what you're at now, and then what your future goals are.
I'd say I'm never satisfied. So my thoughts are, I always want to be growing, man. If you're not growing, you're dying. Lou Holt said it perfectly. Lou Holt said, if you're not growing, you're dying. So goal is always to challenge myself, get better, find new things to do, find different things to do, adjust what I'm doing. But that's always my thought. No matter what I'm doing, I don't want to put myself in a state of complacency. But that's always my goal, right? So again, like I said, I'm not comfortable being stagnant. There's got to be some type of growth, expansion of doing something. And that's how I enjoy living my life. Everybody can be different. I have, plenty of friends that enjoy doing what they do every single day, and they don't aspire to anything else. But I got to give credit where it's due. I look at my dad, cow rancher now, trying to help me build his vineyard thing. And he does what he does every single day, but he doesn't lose that spark of striving for a better tomorrow. And when it comes to that, that's really cool. And you want to surround yourself by people that will help you do that. If it's what you want to do. If you don't want to do that, then, do what you got to do. But that's the biggest thing I'd say. Surround yourself by people that you want to be like.
Yeah. There's one thing you said that I really liked that I've actually heard in the last episode I had with my buddy Omir. I actually have met in person, George. He's one of my marketing buddies.
Sure.
He said something that you said right now that I like, that I keep hearing from a lot of entrepreneurs that I keep talking to, which is surround yourself around the people who you want to be like. Surround yourself about who you're trying to be like. And that's something huge, right? I think that's something big. And I've said this like I was telling Amir last time too, is it's no disrespect to whoever. You can still be cool with people who are not the same way as you. It's just a matter of you want to surround yourself with, for a majority of your time, with people that are where you're trying to be. And I like that. I like that you have the same mindset too.
Yeah, there's always, it's, I don't know, can't say that enough. And then what's the other one? If you're the smartest person in the room, find another room. Right? Yeah. That one's good, because I look at my 20s, people that I surrounded myself with, I should have found different friends. Again, nothing against them. Some of them I'm so friends with today that are role models. They're amazing. But there's also other people that I'm like, man, I spent too much time on that. I should have done something different. But again, do I regret it? I learned from it. I learned, right? Yeah. Sometimes now it's better to be alone than to be around people that aren't necessarily gonna help you get to where you want to be. Yeah,
that's what George usually spends his time with Baby Jap now.
Yeah,
he wants to be just like him.
I want to be just like him. Hyper. Woo!
We all know you're there, George. We all know you have that. What about like your goals when it comes to the real estate stuff? Are you trying to buy more? What do you have, like a timeline, or are you trying to buy more stuff? Like how many more houses do you want to buy? What's your goal in there? Are you trying to buy commercial?
Great question. I want to pay down some of the ones that I currently have. That's probably a big priority. Start turning a lot of them into larger income producers. That's probably my main priority. And then, like I said, buying, right? We talked about that earlier. Buying would be great. Good little investment property out there. Single family homes are what I'm really striving for, because when it comes to being able to buy, sell, dispose of, sell, it's a lot easier. Apartment complex would be great, right? Commercial properties are awesome, but the vacancies tend to be a lot higher. And to get the return on the investment, you can take some time. Just a matter of having a diverse portfolio, right? I said earlier. So if I can't diversify it by buying apartment complexes or commercial buildings, or commercial, not buildings, but commercial properties, then diversify buying in different cities. So we'll get there. And time frame, why you said time frame? Man, my goal is to do it in 2 years. I got to figure out a way to do it in 1 year. So yeah, let's go. 365 days, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know a guy that's definitely investing out of state. You should talk to him. He's been looking.
Oh yeah. We were talking about earlier.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you being here, dude. I appreciate you helping us out. I know that you're one of our clients with everything, basically. We definitely appreciate everything you do, and appreciate everything you've done for me as well since I met you. And any final thoughts, anything you want to show people where they can find you? Because I know you work for Heartland, so if anybody needs any services from you or anything, where can they get a hold of you or anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean, they can always call me and I'll get one of my reps. So 925-640-8951. Again, 925-640-8951. Or just message me, right? I'm going to post on your Facebook. Right, Kevin?
Yeah.
You just tag me on there. You can always message me through your Facebook. And it's not even about how I'm not trying to sell anything or anything, right? If you just have a question about your business, I'm happy to see if I can help and get involved. I'm a nerd, taxes, right? Kevin and I talk about tax all the time, and some stuff I'll be like, talk to your CPA and your advisor. But basic tax stuff, it's awesome. I love it. So, and I'm not a professional by any means. I'm just a nerd that enjoys researching and learning more. And if we can share ideas, I'm always looking for people that are not necessarily having open networking. You can always have more people in your network. So
yeah,
I'm down.
No, for sure, absolutely. That's kind of like how we are too with us, helping business owners and stuff. I don't know that much about taxes, but our CPA is badass. So.
Yeah, you hope so. He has a CPA, but
yeah.
That's the key, right? Knowing where to find those answers. Sometimes people don't even know where to go or where to look, and they think just by going to a tax guy, that's it. But find the right people around you that are going to help you.
No, I'll just leave it at this. Like I met up with Thomas, right, who's #1 team in New York Life. I work with him luckily, and guy's a millionaire, and he showed me one of the clients that he's helping right now, and the CPA, because I didn't realize how taxes make such a big difference. But this guy, he's making who grosses $195 million a year, $195 million a year, and he keeps 165 of that net. And I was like, how do you do that? How do you do that? Like you make so much money. And then the guy, he's like, it's got another tax game. Taxes.
It's not a game, right? The tax laws are there. They're there to take advantage of the people that don't educate themselves. And it's like anything in society.
Yeah.
You gotta learn, get educated, self-educated.
Absolutely.
Don't expect somebody to hold your hand and teach you. Learn.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. This is, this is what I've been reading right now.
I have to start a vineyard.
I got
how to start a vineyard. That's what George has right here. How to start
I got these other ones recently.
Wines and wines. I will tell you guys that I know Maryville just a little bit, not as much as George obviously knows Maryville. That's his woman, but I know that for sure this is probably the business that she supports George the most in. My business. I will tell you that right now.
Oh, you're stupid.
That business more than any other one. She is probably rooting for him to be very successful in the wine business. All right,
it's an investment. All right, man.
I
Thanks
appreciate
again, Kevin.
you, man. All right, man. You have a good one.